What's up, Deegans and future millionaires? Welcome back to the channel where we expose the financial matrix and teach you how to actually win. Today, we're talking about the ultimate financial glow-up, recessions. Yeah, I said it. While everyone else is busy panic selling their grandma's antique teapot because the news told them the sky is falling, you, my enlightened friend, are going to be quietly stacking generational wealth. This isn't just about surviving a recession. It's about turning economic bloodbaths into your personal buffet. This is your 11-minute masterclass on how smart money profits when the world thinks it's ending. Let's get into it. Hashtag Section 1, the Panic Playbook, Why Everyone Else Loses. Alright, first things first, why do most people get absolutely wrecked during a recession? Simple. Emotions. Fear and greed. But mostly fear, marinated in a spicy sauce of misinformation and herd mentality. Think about it, the stock market is doing great, everyone's bragging about their Dogecoin gains, then bam, the news starts screaming recession. Inflation. Market crash. And what do the normies do? They panic sell. They pull their money out right at the bottom, locking in their losses, because their lizard brain is telling them to run for the hills. Meanwhile, the actual smart money, the folks who aren't glued to Kramer's hot takes, they're sitting there, hands clasped, watching the fires sail like it's Black Friday in July. They know that fear is the most expensive emotion in investing. They know the market always recovers. And they know that the biggest transfers of wealth happen when everyone else is too scared to even look. This isn't just retail investors, by the way. Even institutions get swept up. The media cycle thrives on negativity. Bad news sells. Market drops 500 points, is a much juicier headline than market holds steady. This constant barrage of doom and gloom primes the average person to react, not to think. They're playing short-term survival, while you, the future smart investor, are playing the long game. You're not looking at tomorrow's headlines, you're looking at the next 5, 10, 20 years. And over that horizon, recessions are just speed bumps on the road to financial freedom. Hashtag Section 2, Decoding the Doom, what a recession really is, and isn't boring. So, what actually is a recession? Beyond the scary headlines, it's typically defined as 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. Gross domestic product, basically, how much stuff a country produces and consumes. When that shrinks, it means less economic activity, fewer jobs, less spending. But here's the tea, recessions are a natural, even necessary, part of the economic cycle. Think of it like a forest fire. It's devastating in the short term, but it clears out deadwood, allows new growth, and ultimately makes the forest stronger. Recessions purge inefficient businesses, correct asset bubbles, and force innovation. What causes them? A whole cocktail of things: crazy high inflation leading to interest rate hikes, making borrowing expensive, slowing everything down, bursting asset bubbles, tech, housing, crypto, you name it, geopolitical shocks, wars, pandemics, or even just plain old over-leveraged debt in the system. Key indicators to watch, if you want to sound smart at parties: the inverted yield curve, when short-term bonds yield more than long-term bonds, weird, I know, but historically a solid predictor, rising unemployment claims, and consumer confidence dropping faster than my motivation on a Monday. Understanding these isn't about predicting the exact date of the crash, nobody can do that, and anyone who says they can is selling you something. It's about recognizing the conditions that signal a potential downturn, giving you time to prepare, not panic. Hashtag Section 3, the Smart Money Playbook, before the crash, gearing up for glory. The real secret to profiting from a recession starts before the recession even hits. This isn't about timing the market, it's about being prepared. Think of it as pre-gaming for the biggest sale of your life. Here's your checklist. 1. Cash is king, and queen and all the royal family. When asset prices are falling, cash is your superpower. It gives you the liquidity to swoop in and buy quality assets at rock-bottom prices. This means building a robust emergency fund, 6 to 12 months of living expenses, and then some extra dry powder specifically for investing during a downturn. Don't let that cash sit under your mattress, put it in a high-yield savings account or short-term treasury bill so it's earning something, but still readily accessible. 2. Debt reduction is your superpower. High-interest debt, credit cards, personal loans, will absolutely suffocate you during a recession. Not only does it drain your cash flow, but if you lose income, that debt quickly becomes an insurmountable mountain. Get rid of it. Pay it down aggressively. Be lean. Be mean. Be a debt-free machine. Mortgages and low-interest student loans are usually fine, but aggressively tackling consumer debt frees up capital and reduces your financial stress, allowing you to focus on opportunity. 3. Stress test your portfolio. Look at your current investments. Are they diversified? Truly diversified, or just 10 different tech stocks? Could they withstand a 30 to 50% drawdown? Consider rebalancing towards more defensive sectors, utilities, consumer staples, healthcare, or assets like gold, which often act as a safe haven. Trim any speculative, high-flying stocks that are priced for perfection. You want sturdy ships for a stormy sea, not flimsy rafts. 4. Identify your shopping list. Start researching quality companies you'd love to own but currently find too expensive. Think blue-chip giants, companies with strong balance sheets, consistent earnings, and competitive advantages. Tech companies with actual revenue and profit, not just hype. Real estate investment trusts, REITs, that hold essential properties. These are the assets that will likely get hammered along with everything else, but their underlying value will still be there. When the market bleeds, you'll know exactly what you want to buy. Section 4, the smart money playbook. During the crash, the buying spree. Alright, the sky is falling. News anchors are in a frenzy. Your friends are crying into their oat milk lattes. This is your moment. This is where you become a financial legend. Here's the play-by-play. 1. Dollar cost averaging, DCA, with conviction. Don't try to catch the exact bottom, it's a fool's errand. Instead, commit to regularly investing a fixed amount of your dry powder at set intervals throughout the downturn. The market drops. You buy more shares for the same amount of money. It drops further. Even better. You're essentially getting an even bigger discount. This strategy smooths out your purchase price and removes emotion. It takes discipline, but it works. 2. Focus on quality, value, and future growth. Remember your shopping list from Section 3. Now's the time. Buy those blue-chip companies, the Apples, the Microsofts, the Coca-Colas, that were absurdly expensive before. Look for companies with strong balance sheets, low debt, and a proven track record of profitability. Growth stocks that were overvalued before might now be trading at reasonable prices. Also, consider value stocks, companies that are simply undervalued by the market due to temporary bad news. Don't buy speculative garbage just because it's cheap, buy good companies that are cheap. 3. Real estate opportunities. Recessions often hit real estate hard. This could mean distressed properties, foreclosures, or just a general softening of prices. If you're savvy, patient, and have access to capital, this can be a goldmine. You might look at REITs, which are easier to buy and sell than physical property, and can offer diversified exposure to commercial or residential real estate. Just remember, real estate is less liquid, so only commit capital you won't need for a while. 4. Bonds and gold, strategic hedges. While cash is your primary tool, certain bonds, especially U.S. Treasuries, often perform well during recessions as investors flock to safety. Gold is another traditional safe haven, often increasing in value when fear grips the market. While not primary profit vehicles in the same way stocks are during a recovery, they can act as portfolio stabilizers or even tactical plays if you see specific opportunities. Just don't go all in on gold unless you're a doomsday prepper. 5. Patience is your virtue. Recessions don't typically last forever, but recoveries aren't usually V-shaped either. It can take months, sometimes years, for the market to fully rebound. You've done the hard work of buying low, now comes the equally hard work of waiting. Resist the urge to sell at the first sign of recovery. Let your investments compound. Remember, the market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Be patient. Hashtag Section 5, the Smart Money Playbook, post-crash, riding the recovery and beyond. Okay, the worst is over. The news cycle is slowly pivoting to recovery narratives. This isn't the time to get complacent. This is the time to strategically manage your newfound wealth. 1. Rebalancing, trim the fat, let winners run. Carefully. As your recession buys start soaring, your portfolio will naturally become skewed. It's wise to rebalance. This means selling off a portion of your highest performing assets to bring your portfolio back to your target allocations and perhaps redeploying that capital into other, still undervalued assets, or just taking some profits off the table and bolstering your cash reserves for the next inevitable downturn. You're not trying to perfectly time the peak, but you're being smart about risk management. 2. Identifying new growth sectors. Recessions often accelerate existing trends or kickstart new ones. Think about the dot-com bust clearing the way for legitimate tech giants, or the 2008 crisis leading to fintech innovation. Keep an eye on emerging industries, disruptive technologies, and companies that demonstrate resilience and adaptability. These could be the next generation of market leaders. 3. Avoid the next bubble. Once the market recovers, human nature dictates that euphoria will eventually return. People forget the pain of the last crash and start chasing speculative assets again. Don't be that person. Stick to your principles: value, quality, long-term growth. Don't get caught up in the FOMO. Remember the lessons learned: market corrections are healthy, and discipline is paramount. Hashtag Section 6, mindset and risk management. Don't be a dummy. Look, this all sounds great on paper, but executing it requires serious mental fortitude. Here's the final wisdom drop. 1. Never invest more than you can afford to lose. This isn't just a meme. If losing the money would genuinely mess up your life, don't put it in the market. Period. Especially not during volatile times. This is why building that cash reserve is so critical. 2. Emotional discipline is everything. Your emotions are your biggest enemy in investing. Learn to separate your feelings from your financial decisions. When everyone is panicking, be calm. When everyone is euphoric, be cautious. It's hard, but it's the difference between a winner and a loser. 3. Focus on time in the market, not timing the market. Nobody, not even the pros, can consistently time the market perfectly. Your goal isn't to buy at the absolute bottom and sell at the absolute top. Your goal is to consistently invest in quality assets over the long term, especially when they're on sale. The magic of compounding does the heavy lifting. 4. Diversify. For real this time. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Across asset classes, stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, across geographies, and across different sectors. This minimizes risk and ensures that if one area underperforms, you're not completely wiped out. 5. Continuous learning. The market is always evolving. Stay curious. Read financial news critically, understand economic principles, and keep refining your investment thesis. The more you know, the less scary the unknown becomes. Hashtag conclusion, your time to shine. So there you have it. The secret sauce to turning recessions from existential dread into profit opportunities. While the masses are glued to the fear-porn news cycle, you'll be armed with knowledge, discipline, and a shopping list. Remember, recessions are temporary. Growth is inevitable. And wealth transfers happen when the emotional are separated from their assets by the logical and prepared. Don't just survive the next downturn, dominate it. Be smart money. Be prepared. And for God's sake, stop panic selling your good investments. If you found this masterclass useful, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more truth bombs. What's your top recession survival, or rather, profit, tip? Drop it in the comments below. Until next time, stay cynical, stay savvy, and stay stacking. Peace out.